D4vd. So D4vd is an artist that popped off on TikTok a few years ago with his song Romantic Homicide. And I'm not super tapped into the TikTok scene, so I wasn't really sure if I even knew this guy. Now D4vd went from making Fortnite videos on YouTube to finding his fame as a singer after his song Romantic Homicide went viral. Unfortunately, his most popular song, in hindsight, might be a straight up confession. Hear me out. Major news broke about a week ago of a young woman's decomposing, dismembered body found in a Tesla, reportedly owned by singer D4vd. The body was later identified to be that of Celeste Hernandez, who was just 14 years old at the time of her murder. If that isn't gruesome enough, her body was only found due to a, quote, strong foul odor emitting from the Tesla. So people had smelled this poor girl's decomposing body, and if people are smelling it just from being near the Tesla, you can assume the smell was strong. People say that the smell of a dead body is unlike anything, that it is one of the worst smells imaginable, and even people in law enforcement who regularly have to deal with this smell mention of not being able to get the smell out of their nose and not ever forgetting this smell. But get this, random people, employees, or those who were just coming to retrieve their car had to smell the horrid smell of a decomposing body. These people did not sign up for this shit. Even those people, while on a much lesser scale, are also victims in this terrible situation. After this news broke, it is not looking good for D4vd. And quite frankly, just the evidence that is leaked online is damning within itself. And we don't even know yet what law enforcement or the FBI potentially has on him, as Celeste's body was only found on September 9th of 2025. So let's dive into this massive slew of evidence that the internet has uncovered on artist D4vd. And fair warning, it is absolutely baffling. Firstly, when Celeste's body was found, there was mention of the body having a, quote, unique tattoo and outfit. Authorities later confirmed that Celeste had a tattoo of the word shh in red ink on her right index finger. Okay, well guess what? So does D4vd. Would you look at that? Celeste's mother actually indicated to TMZ that she thought it was indeed her daughter, just based on the finger tattoo. Unfortunately, that's just the beginning, as this story keeps getting deeper, darker, and deeply saddening, especially for those who knew and loved Celeste. There have been Discord chats that have resurfaced of D4vd and Celeste talking together, some showing that D4vd had been possibly dating her all the way back when he was only 17 years old and Celeste was only 12 years old. These Discord chats speak for themselves. And these days, when Discord is brought up in the news, it is almost always about someone chatting with minors. So as soon as I heard the word Discord, I just assumed the worst. And sadly, I was not wrong. With D4vd, obviously almost an adult at that time, but also a famous artist that she likely looked up to, even more disgusting. So chatters in D4vd's Discord server mentioned that they thought D4vd was in fact dating a girl named Celeste. And speaking of a girl named Celeste, D4vd has a leaked song about a girl named Celeste.
I wanna make you be suicidal. It's last. The girl with my name tattooed on her chest. Celeste. Afraid you'll only love me when I'm dead.
Bro, it's over. But anyways, back to this gross ass Discord chat. More and more Discord messages keep leaking, what seems like daily. Here are some in that same server talking about how D4vd is only adding girls to the server, and another user comments, and they're all kids too. What? So this other user calls D4vd an EDP. Then the user replies back saying, D4vd talks to blank all the time and she's only 15. We can now assume he may have been talking about Celeste, but she was only 14, almost 15 at the time of her murder. And this Discord chat is dated all the way back to over 2 years ago in March 2023, when Celeste would have only been 12 years old. So it is very possible D4vd was talking to yet another 15-year-old at the time. Oh look, here's D4vd pictured in California, literally under a mile away, just minutes from where Celeste lived with her family. Well, Okay, let's take this with a grain of salt because this could be a coincidence, you know. Wait, there's actual photos of them together? Oh, fuck. Yep, photos surfaced of David with Celeste. Not only that, this dude legit posted them together on his Instagram story on Maine. But it doesn't end there. People found a single re-upload of a Twitch stream with Celeste, and you can see chatters talking about him being with this minor. Maybe these were some of the same people in that Discord server who were kind of already hip to this weirdo EDP behavior from him. Or, I don't know, maybe they saw she looks like a fucking child. And can we stop for a second just to point out the fact that David here looks like a straight PDF file. Well, a PDF file from 2012. And you can just barely make out some of these chats in this Twitch stream. There's no escaping this, bro. Cut you in 4K.
Cut.
Uh-oh.
Don't get canceled, Doug.
GG.
Also, notice how he responds to the singular comment, not referring to him hanging out with a minor.
What's good, David? Big fan, big spot me. Oh, thank you, Mitochondria. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Mitch. You're the best, bro. You're so awesome for not pointing out the fact that I'm with this literal child. Appreciate that, bro. Basically trying to skew the conversation by highlighting the fans talking about anything other than the fact that he's with a 13-year-old kid. But they're going off on him, and rightfully so. But here it is in its entirety with the original audio where the victim, Celeste, is heard saying, "We need to delete this." Then David quietly says, "Mods, can you delete all the VODs and delete the stream after we're done?" Yeah, this looks bad. Why would you want to delete it all? I really wonder.
Yo, wait.
Oh, look it. Answer that one. That's so mean if you don't answer
Which
that.
one? What's good, David? Big fan, big spot me. Oh, thank you, Mitochondria. Appreciate you.
I gotta stop with him if you even.
We
We need to delete this.
Maz, can we delete all VODs? And then as soon as the stream ends, delete the stream too?
Why did nothing come of this? Like, people straight up knew he's out here hanging with a fucking minor. How did this just slide? I mean, you see people getting exposed or canceled for way less. Meanwhile, David out here streaming with random little girls from his Discord. No biggie. And I can't help but think of all this terrible shit that could have been avoided if anyone held some accountability to David, his team, his fans, whatever. Somebody knew what was going on. All of this was out there, clear as day, and it was swept under the rug for so long. While this dude is touring and being a straight up weirdo creep on the road, who knows how many vulnerable fans were exposed to this creep? It's just sad. And look at the merch that he was selling. This David dude is just obsessed with blood and murder. It's his whole brand. Oh, gotta take that down. That's not a good look. Or this, or that. Look at all these bloody hoodies. Oddly coincidental. And we see UMG canceling tour dates, and they make this statement mentioning that all promo for David will be hereby paused during this murder investigation for Celeste as it unfolds out of respect for, quote, the seriousness of the situation. Yeah, might just want to drop him from the label now, even if he is completely innocent from this murder, which in my eyes, there is no way in hell that is the case. But with all of this EDP shit resurfacing, get this dude out ASAP. You do not want to be associated with this guy. Now, just September 17th, which is just 2 days ago from me recording this video, this past Wednesday, LAPD homicide detectives searched a house that is said to have connection to David and left later that day with a computer and several evidence bags. If the LAPD is walking out of your house with your PC and a bunch of evidence bags, that screams guilty. There is no way David is not somehow connected, if not directly. But it is all up in the air right now. We're seeing this unfold right in front of our eyes, with new leads being reported almost every day. And like I said, this is just what the public knows. Who knows what LAPD or even the FBI might have on this guy David? We have no idea, but I can guarantee this story does not end here. It's extremely important to highlight highlight the fact that a young girl's life was cut extremely short. This girl was murdered. Her remains absolutely disrespected in extreme ways. So I want to show my love and support to Celeste, to this poor young woman who had her entire life in front of her before it was stolen, and nothing but my love and support to her family. And let me point out that in the description I've provided a link to the GoFundMe that her family has organized. I personally donated. I encourage anyone who has the means to donate to do so for her family so they can afford to give Celeste a proper and loving funeral. Obviously, everything in this video is alleged. David is ultimately innocent until proven guilty. This was a hard one to cover. During the process of this video, at many points, I got extremely choked up and downright nauseous over some of these facts. I want to show my support and get her story out there, and I'll be sure to follow up with this and update you guys. But above all else, rest in peace to Celeste Hernandez. This is a terribly awful situation, and it is deeply saddening for everyone. This should not happen to anyone, let alone a 14-year-old child. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. Peace.